Hey everybody, welcome back to Jamia's Promo, and today I wanted to answer your questions around Helium and Helium hotspot miners. So recently I uploaded a video where I was setting up and showing you how my Helium hotspot miner has done when it was all by itself, no other hotspots around. Just recently, within the last 2 weeks, I've set up my second hotspot miner close to here, and it's made a drastic improvement. Now, if mine was to be set somewhere downtown Kansas City, then it would be performing way better. So in that video and on Instagram and Twitter, I've been getting a lot of questions about, how much does it cost to get a miner? Which miner is the best? How much can you make in a month? How long does it take to pay off the miner? Should I get one if I'm all by myself? And really, in general, how does it work? How much can you make and things like that? And how can you sell the tokens that you earn by mining as rewards? And so I'm going to answer all of those questions today. All of the questions are actually listed just right here. So this is what we're going to be going over in today's video. So the very first question is how much for Helium miner? Now, the cost of the Helium miner is all right around $350, and it really doesn't matter which one you get, but it sometimes does matter where you get it from. So for example, we are right here on helium.com, and when you click on mine, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down, and these are some of those hotspots that you can purchase. So what I'll be doing is I'll be placing a few links below the video, taking you directly into where you can get these hotspots. If you do get the rack hotspot miner from CalChip, you'll be able to get a 5% discount with my code, which is Jimmy5. And also too, I'll be placing a link below the video on the preferred antenna that I use. There's two antennas that I have. One is a 3BI or 3 dBi, the other one is 9 dBi, and I'll explain the difference between different antennas and when to use those. So we're really going over everything today. So first off, for helium.com, as you scroll down, you can take a look at the map. So we do have that Helium Explorer map right here, which we'll take a look at in just a minute. But when it comes down to some of these miners, you have the indoor and outdoor miner from Nebra. Now, I don't have mine yet, so I've purchased two Nebras, and I have one that's already been ordered a while ago that should be coming in a couple weeks. So I'll be shooting a video and setting that up and how it performs at the location I put it. So you can get it either for outdoor or indoor. Most people look at the indoor one, and you can see here that it's around a $300 price point here. Now, as you scroll through this website, the one thing I do want to let you know is you can see that I believe this is euros right there, 300. And as you scroll down, you take a look, you can order from Parlay Labs. So it says we ship worldwide from UK. You may want to order from one of our distributors based in North America. So if you live in the United States, click on Parlay Labs, and this is where I purchased my Nebra hotspots for $350, which is the same price here. Just make sure your frequency is sitting there as the US option, which since you hit Parlay Labs, it's already going to be US anyways. And so this is where you can purchase your Nebra miner. So let's just go right back over into this website here. And what you'll also notice with a bunch of these hotspots is that they'll say that they're in pre-order or they're out of stock. And that's just because the demand of these has boomed up. It used to be where these things would come in March, and then they said April. Now some of them say May, and one of them says summer, which is probably going to be more like June. So you really want to take a look at that. And right now is the time to purchase these because you want to buy a Helium hotspot miner now before Helium halves in August. So again, then you look at the Bobcat miner. When you take a look at this website here, it just takes you to their site. You can purchase it. So again, all of these are going to be, if you go to order now, all of these are going to be right around $350, except for this Bobcat miner. This is one that I'm also going to purchase soon. And this one is $430. Now, the one thing that you can also keep in mind is a lot of these are, created out of plastic, which is really good to have when yours is connected to your Wi-Fi wirelessly. So when it's connected wirelessly, you want them to be made out of plastic so it can penetrate and then send off the signal of the 915 frequency through the antenna. The rack hotspot miner, this is one that I do highly suggest. This is the one that I have at my neighbor's house, and this one I do have it plugged in through the Ethernet in the back just because of where his Wi-Fi is located and which room we placed it in. It was better just to actually move it connected to Ethernet, and it has a really good connection. So this one right here, this is one of the links that I have below the video where you can save 5%. Now it says again here that the shipping notice, if you order the Rack Hotspot Miner version 2 now, shipments starting summer 2021, which means you better get on this thing now before it's going to say winter. So really, to answer this question, I really want to talk about that. How much for a Helium Hotspot Miner? They're mostly right around $350, and you might see some all the way up to $420, but they're all going to pay off in a very short while, which you'll see here in today's video. Then I kind of answered the same question, or I answered the second question with the first one, which was which one is best. So they're really all the exact same thing. I explained using plastic versus a metal brick. So they're all going to perform pretty much the exact same, unless if you know that where your hotspot's going to be, if it's far away, just kind of get ready to see if you want to buy plastic, which is going to be Bobcat or Nebra, versus getting the Rack Hotspot. The Rack Hotspot does a really good job if you know that you're pretty close to the router and modem and everything else, if you're going to do it wirelessly. So it says right here, it says it's not in stock. So we actually covered that as well too. So we're going through these questions pretty quick. Some of these state that they're not in stock. Maybe they're just pre-orders, and it's only because they are manufacturing these as the orders come in. So once you see something that's like it's out of order, place your pre-order, things like that, they're all going to be the exact same thing. And so they're really technically not, out of inventory. They're just don't have the inventory as they are actually making everything, and then they get shipped off pretty quick. So don't let that scare you. Don't let that stop you. Once you place an order, it will actually come in. So here's a good question. How much helium a day? So let's take a look at the helium map. So in general, what I'm going to mostly mention is that the amount of helium that is being mined per month is 5 million. So helium is allotting 5 million HNTs to be mined per month. Now, as more and more hotspots comes in, that means that some of these hotspots are going to slowly kind of go down just a little bit, just because of how many hotspots are being now connected. But in general, as of right now, everybody's getting about 5 heliums a day, but there is a few that are just, all by themselves. So this way they're not going to get that much. And so then it's going to go to all the rest of the other hotspots out there that have multiples near them. So we're just going to zoom in on Kansas City here. We're going to go into a spot that is called Westport. So let's say that we click on this hotspot right there, and we just want to see how this one's performing. And so as you scroll on down, you can see that this one has done 10 heliums in the last 24 hours and 459 in the last month. So each day there's one that's like 20, 10, 9, 10, 13, 12, 12, 13, 12. So I mean, this one's getting right around 13 and 12 on average every single day, which brought it up to 459 in the month. Then you just have to take 459 times whatever it's worth right now, which is close to about $9, and that is how much you can make in a month. Now I'm going to say on average you're going to probably make about 5 heliums a day, and that's just something that's conservative. That's something that is going to be also pretty accurate as well. So to going back to this question over here, how much helium a day? I'm going to say on average 5, but it really depends on how many hotspots are near you. So on that one, there's about 8 or 9 other hotspots next to it. I highly suggest heading over to the coverage map, which is explorer.helium.com. And when you head there, just go to your spot, head to your area, and take a look at how many hotspots are near you. Then you'll be able to see how well you can do. So the next question is, how safe is it and how much energy does it use? So the amount of energy it uses is very small. It's similar to a 5-watt light bulb. So you're not even going to see it if you live in an apartment or a house, whatever the case may be. You're not going to see your electric bill move or change anything really. It's just a small little light bulb. Is kind of how much it kind of takes in. And is it safe? Yes, it is. It's decentralized. It's using your Wi-Fi to push off a different type of frequency. So instead of you pushing out Wi-Fi and people using your Wi-Fi, it's actually just using Wi-Fi to send you data back to your application, but also sending very small data packages in the form of 915 megahertz frequency. So it's more of a radio signal that's used for the Internet of Things. So basically the things that will be connecting to it is going to be if there is smart, tracking dog collars, if there is in your home the smart sensors for humidity, temperature, things like that, also water as well. If there's like those Lime scooters going all around the city, and it's going to send very small data packages. So you're really, Helium is creating a network. Think of it like AT&T, where it's a network that people can connect to, and Helium is pushing one out that is all across the country and going into other countries as well, where the Internet of Things is able to connect to it, and then it's able to expand in the future to something else. Maybe something beyond just the Internet of Things, but also the Internet of Things itself is in infancy stage. There's so many different products that's being created that is needing to be connected to the Internet of Things, and Helium Network is able to do that. So, is it safe? Yes, it's safe. Nobody is getting anything. Just like anything with Bitcoin and all that stuff, everything is done on a blockchain, decentralized. None of your data is like out there. It's super cool, super safe. And again, it's not using much energy at all. Now, when it comes down to the third-party antennas or using the stock antenna on these are either 3 dBi or 4 dBi. And what the 3 dBi and 4 dBi does is it basically kind of creates an umbrella. So when you think about where you live, you want it to go over buildings, over houses, over hills. And so you're going to want to use a 3 dBi, which is actually one that I have connected now. I placed it below the video inside the description. And it's one that is an umbrella going out, and it's basically going up and out, getting a better network going over houses and hills. Then if you want to buy one that's a 9 dBi, which I can place a link for that below. Again, 9 dBi is one that is a horizontal frequency. So it's pushing out the frequency horizontally, meaning if you're in a spot where you're on top of a hill and you want to go for as far out as you can, then you could do a 9 dBi antenna because it's a horizontal push out. The 3 dBi is umbrella. It's up and then out, going over hills, buildings. So if you live in a big city, a really hilly area, make sure you stay with the stock antenna, or you can buy a little external antenna that you can put on top of your roof or next to a window and things like that. So that's how mine is set up, is with my 3 dBi, because there's a lot of hills and a lot of houses in my area. How does it work, or what is it doing? So we kind of answered that. You're pushing off a 915 megahertz spectrum, a little frequency radio signal for these small Internet of Things to connect to, so it can send data packages, where it's located and where it's going back to, things like that. And that's pretty much how it works. And where it's about to go is something beyond that. Maybe some type of 4G something or other, and then the rewards will probably change after that. But right now, Internet of Things, and so bark collars, scooters, things like that is able to connect. And soon I'll have a smart mousetrap, so it'll send data package to the Helium hotspot miner back to my cell phone, letting me know that there is a mouse that I need to get out of the trap. So this way you don't have to manually set one up, manually always walk down to see if it's been used or not, so you can get a notification stating if something is trapped or not. How long does it take to pay itself off? So on the bottom down here, let's just say that you get 5 helium a day. Right now it's worth right around, we'll just say $9. That means that daily you're getting $45. So if you're getting $45 daily, that means that it can take 7 days to pay it off. Now, depending, if you don't hit 5 helium every single day, maybe it's a little above, maybe a little below. So I'm going to say 5 to 10 days. So as of today's market and the price point, as long as you have maybe just one more helium hotspot next to you, it will take 5 to 10 days. Now, if you are all by your lonesome, then you're going to have a long time to pay it off. Maybe about 6 months to pay it off if there's nobody around you. But I always highly suggest always get 2 of these things and placing them about 300 meters apart or farther. So that is this question here. How long does it take to pay it off? And then how far apart to put them and find out about your city. So we talked about that too. So how far apart? 300 meters apart minimum. If you have them too close, they're not going to talk to each other. They're not really creating a network. They're both in basically the same area where it's pushing off a signal. So if they're in the same area, they're not going to talk to each other really. So again, make sure that they're 300 meters apart or further. They can go all the way up to 10 miles if you are in a clear, open area, or you're on the tippy top of a hill. I'll probably more than likely say easily 1 to 3 miles, and that's a very conservative number depending on how many houses and hills and buildings are next to you. So about 1 to 3 miles is how far it can go, but make sure that they're 300 meters apart. And then how you can find out, about your city, just go to that explorer.helium.com to check out everything around you. How do you sell the helium that you mine? So how you sell the helium is you make sure you have a helium wallet. So what I did was because I live in the United States, I went to Binance.us. So once I go to Binance.us, I basically make sure everything is all set up. I've already had the account there. It's connected to a bank account, things like that. Basically just put in, $30, $50, $100, put it into wherever you can purchase helium. So once you buy helium itself, when you buy the token helium, that is what creates your wallet. Now that you have the wallet, you basically go into your helium application, which I guess I can just show you really fast. So when you go inside of the helium application, what you're going to notice on the very top, let's see here. So you're going to see a little send button. It's like a little blue button, little blue guy on the side. When you tap on the blue guy, that means that you're going to send it somewhere. And so when you send it somewhere, you just have to put in the address of your helium wallet. So once you put in your helium wallet address right in here, you put in how much helium or how much money you would like to send, then it's probably going to take about 2 to 5 minutes. And then you're going to see that helium just sitting in that wallet that you just sent it to. And it's actually pretty cool. And for me, it took about 2 minutes to send it, but it can always change between like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, things like that. How much can you make in a day or a month? So we kind of talked about that earlier. If you only do 5 helium in a day, which you can technically do more, but if you do 5 helium in a day, and if they're trading right now at $9, which soon they'll be at 10, then they'll be at 15, then they'll easily be at 25 in the future. So right now, you'll probably daily pull in about $45 as long as there is another hotspot next to you. Again, that can always be more if there's more hotspots and everybody is talking to each other. In monthly, if you're only getting 5 helium in a day, they're selling at or they're trading at $9, then you're going to make $1,350. So basically $1,300 you can get in a month just by having coverage. So basically, why are you getting this money? This is not a question here. This is just me adding in for me to close out the video, which is like, why are you getting rewarded helium? So what happens is Helium put out a coverage map. They're having all of us make a coverage throughout the whole, United States and countries and things like that. And so what we get rewarded with is HNT. We're getting rewarded off the blockchain for having our network up. So when you think about other companies, like let's say like AT&T, they hire electricians, technicians, they hire anybody who can go to a spot, make sure that the antennas, make sure that the radio things are working. They're taking a look at everything and they're super expensive. They're putting up big towers and signals everywhere. And for us, just because we are putting up their coverage for Helium, we're getting rewarded Helium each time that there's like a proof of coverage. So the hotspot that's about 500 meters away from the house will be putting up a proof of coverage, and I'm going to witness it. And because I witness that they are online, then we get rewarded Helium for making sure that there is a coverage and there is a network for things to connect to. So that's really what's happening. That is why we get rewarded just for putting it up. So we are the ones who connect it to our electricity. We connect it to our Wi-Fi. We are the ones watching it, making sure it's always connected. There is no red light, that we're always online, instead of them having to hire out a bunch of people to run across the country, making sure that this stuff works like all the other big carriers do. So that's why we get rewarded. I really hope that this has helped you guys out. These are a lot of the questions that's been asked. If you guys have any other questions, write a comment below the video. And that's really pretty much about it. Stay tuned. I will be having a video coming up very shortly, maybe in the next either 7 to 10 days, where I'm going to show you exactly how well I've done with 2. I've already showed up a video where I connected the OG Helium hotspot. I have the rack hotspot that's been connected for about 10 to 11 days. It's made a massive difference going from, 0.2 or 0.3 Helium in a day. Now I'm getting between 5 and 15 a day with the 2 of them combined. So it's made a drastic change. And that's how I can tell you for sure how much you can make with 1 Helium hotspot versus 2. If you're the sole only one in your area, you'll get about 0.2 or 0.3 Helium a day. If there's only you and one other person, and I happen to own both of them, then I'm getting a massive increase of, between 5 and 15 a day. So that is how you'd be able to get it paid off in about 5 to 10 days. Again, if you're your sole only one in your area, it's going to take about 6 months to pay it off. Unless if the price goes up to 25 bucks, then it's going to be closer to 3 months to pay it off. But if you guys appreciated this video, please subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, write any other questions you guys have below the video inside the description or in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on the next one.